The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Trap Nerd Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Duke Clark. With me,
when Duke's taking a moment of silence, he's like a kid in school. He wants to talk so bad or laugh.
Shut the fuck up. With me, my guys, Harry.
Yo.
Harry. And Joey Savs. And today we got Mr. Tank producing over here and plays some Moranto.
How we doing?
Make sure he puts himself on the camera.
Gotta do it.
Fire.
Appreciate it, dude.
Well,
hell yeah.
Harry's happy you're joining us because he has someone else who's not in the playoffs with him. I know. Jokes aren't there today, dude. I just gotta keep cranking them out. I gotta keep cranking them out, and they'll get there eventually. You know what I mean? But anyways, we finally got a week of playoff football, and we thought it was gonna fucking suck. And last night sucked, but
I loved it.
I mean, you love seeing Tom Brady get knocked out, but it was a shitty game. And the NFL's fixed. I mean, the over-under was 45.5 or 46.5 and 4 missed extra points.
It started at 44.5, though, just so you know.
Either way, bro. Either way. It's ridiculous. For one of those extra points goes, and boom, I hit. Hundreds of other people hit.
There was not one extra kick
That was the
point.
only over that didn't go over, too, on the week.
Yeah.
It should have, though.
Brett Money Mayer just misses 4 extra points. Misses 6 in his entire career.
Yeah, it was wild.
4 in one game. Ridiculous. But we'll go back to that game. We'll start with the Bills. If you're not a Bills fan, it was a great game. If you are a Bills fan, it was the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. I want to talk about it, though, because all these Bills fans are all like, oh, the defense played like shit, blah, blah, blah. And, like, you look at the stats.
I was going to say, that was the most high-scoring, good defensive, high-scoring game ever.
half the fucking scoring drives for the Dolphins, they started on their own side of the field. Or on the Bills side of the field. It's like we held them to 220 total yards. What'd you say?
It was under 300.
220 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That if you held the offense to 220 yards, it should be a shutout. And I get when they got in the red zone, the defense kind of let them make plays. They got the Mostert touchdown, the Jalen Waddle touchdown, whatever. But you can't give those kind of Jeff Wilson, my bad. But you can't get those kind of playmakers.
Waddle didn't score.
Waddle scored? Oh, no, he got to the one and then
Gesicki
scored. But, like, you give those playmakers that much room, and they're going to score. But how can you say the defense didn't play well when you had 18 of 45 passing, 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions, 43 rushing yards total or something like that on 2.8 yards per carry? How is that the defense's fault?
Yeah, the defense played really well, I thought.
Yeah, and so Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. We lost a fumble.
He hit for a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. People are just trying to blame the defense, and I think the defense played really well. I mean, you can't really expect anything better than 18 of 45 passing. Third string quarterback or not.
And aside from the turnovers, the offense really didn't play as bad as you would think.
Yeah, it was just the turnovers can't happen, man. It shows how important turnovers are. The defense plays great, the offense plays great, but you only win by 3 points. Turnovers, you can't do it. And they capitalized on the turnovers, I get it. But the defense made plays when they needed to. They stuffed them on that 4th down, and then they didn't call delay a game until after they stuffed them, and then they stuffed them again. They made the plays when they had to. So, if looking at the game, in my opinion, the only worry we have back to fucking week 9, Josh Allen turning the ball over.
You think that it's that elbow injury still fucking with him or something? Or you think he's just playing bad?
I feel like it's got to be.
You think so?
I mean, the one interception wasn't necessarily his fault. The other one was terrible. But, I mean, he's one of the league leaders in turnovers this year.
I feel like it all started happening after that, too.
It did. Before that elbow injury, he was the number 1 MVP. There was no argument. He was the MVP. And then after that elbow injury, he's throwing interceptions every fucking play. And then even the Shakir catch would have been an interception. I mean, I get it was a holding call anyway.
Shakir looked tired out there.
I mean, that catch, yeah. But like,
He got 2 for 20 or some shit.
They like 3 for 50.
Oh, 3 for 50.
if Shakira doesn't make that catch, that's an interception,
Oh, he
and then
got
it
one
gets
at the
called
end,
back
later
because of
on in the
the
game, that's right.
holding. So I get it, but he just when you watch him play, it's not just the interceptions. Like there's tons of plays where like the one play I forgot what week it was when Diggs caught that crazy one-handed catch. If Diggs doesn't make that catch, there was a defender right behind him. And
It was the same game versus Jefferson.
yeah. So I don't know, man. He's just not. If he's playing like that, you're not beating Mahomes. Maybe you might be able to get past the Bengals, but you're not beating Mahomes.
The important thing is that they did win, though. I think a lot of people that I see on Facebook or Twitter are bashing Buffalo like they were eliminated.
Right.
I think people forget you make the playoffs. The goal is just to win. It doesn't matter how pretty or ugly it is. It doesn't matter how many points you win by. Like obviously, I wasn't impressed by the Bills. Sure, I thought that was a horrible being 13-point favorites and winning 34-31 is kind of silly. But at the same time, Miami was a playoff team. If Tua played maybe a Super Bowl contender, their defense played their ass off. Like they made plays, like you said, in the red zone. Buffalo found a way to win. Same with Cincy. We'll talk about that game.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. It's like,
Well, you know what? Another big thing is that these games they're divisional games. Like we play Miami twice in the regular season.
You're playing a
then
team for the third time.
Yeah,
they know
in a
you.
year, yeah. You know, same thing with Cincinnati, Baltimore. When we get to that, it's the same thing.
yeah. I mean, if it was a non-divisional opponent with a third-string quarterback, it's probably the blowout everyone expects. Miami has played the Bills well in every single game. Obviously, they beat us by 2, and then we beat them by 3 and 3. So, like, they know how to play us. I mean, they know what to do. They know what the weaknesses is.
They have a really good team. I mean, they just ended up with a Skylar Thompson at quarterback.
Yeah, so
That was the difference.
yeah. So I'm not like you said, it's survive and advance, and we've seen teams struggle in the first round, get the win, and then go on and dominate.
If you guys win the Super Bowl, nobody will remember this game. Nobody will talk about this game ever again. It'll just be that you guys won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
It won't
exactly.
matter. You won and you kept your season alive.
I really am worried about the Josh Allen elbow though. Like it's like not
I
like
think they'll get it together, man. You know,
I think we could still win.
I you know what I didn't like though about the Bills game is that he didn't really utilize his feet either. Like it was like I felt like most of the plays were like big throws. They didn't like do anything else.
Yeah, it seemed like I was talking to you about this yesterday. Like it seems like Dable. The only reason I like Dorsey over Dable is Dorsey was willing to get the run game going. Totally ditched that today. I mean, or Sunday, and I get that it wasn't really working early on, but he just ditched it immediately. And then what Dable would do though is if we weren't running the ball, tons of screens, tons of underneath shit to Beasley to open the game up. Dorsey just wants to throw the ball 40 yards every play, it seems like. Like every single play is like a 20-yard, 30-yard, 40-yard throw, and he's not opening. If the run game's not working, he's not understanding that you need to get the underneath stuff. You need to open shit up, especially playing a defense like Miami. Like, especially when our offensive line looks like fucking garbage. Like, they look like hot fucking garbage. You need to open shit up. You need to, if you're going to keep pressuring me, I'm going to dink and dunk, and you're not going to have anyone over the top to stop Diggs. Like, you need to open shit up, and it just seemed like he was just pushing the ball down the field all game, and it just wasn't working. And that leads to the interceptions. It did work. I mean, it worked at certain plays, but, like, there was no – every time you said hike, he's running around for his life trying to let the play develop.
I just didn't you can't show me many games where he only had 2 rushing attempts.
That's probably the least on the season.
That's what I'm saying.
And it goes back to what we've been saying all year, though. You got to – whether it's running with him, whether it's running with the running backs.
Cook looked good, too. I don't know why we didn't keep giving it to him.
Yeah, but
he was making good plays.
Yeah, but on other plays, he was getting hit behind the line. And, like, the one play, he had to make a huge move just to get a 2-yard gain.
Miami's defensive front, line, they looked good, though. They were putting the pressure.
Our offense line
Well,
sucks.
you know what it was? They were running they were running cover 0, and they were rushing, 6. So how the offensive line wasn't. How can they cover 6? There's only 5 of them. It's tough.
But that's another thing when you get to Dorsey, it's like you need to scheme against that.
But that's why I don't understand why they didn't have Allen do more. What's that word? Designed runs.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, you gonna rush everyone? I don't know.
I mean, you look at the Giants; they were doing a shit ton of them. Even what the fuck? I'm trying to remember what team it was when they did a design run with a quarterback that hardly ever runs.
Miami's game plan was
Dallas actually did a couple nice ones.
Yeah, Dak did one last
Dak
night
hasn't ran it
with
all
an
this
option.
year,
Yeah. Did he score? Or he got to like the
scored.
one.
He scored on one, and then he picked up like a 3rd and 10 on the other.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like Miami's plan was to come in and make Josh Allen like rush him.
You know you can't do that against Mahomes. You ever see his numbers when people blitz him like that?
Oh, his passing numbers
Dude,
are
it's
unreal.
You can't defend him like that. You'll just get destroyed.
He has a better offensive line though too, and
Well, no,
It's
he's
not
got
the
better play
line, though.
calling though.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
like you
yeah,
said, if
yeah.
somebody's rushing 5 or 6 guys or whatever, and all your plays are 20 yards down the field, it's not going to develop.
no.
You can't.
You know, that's why the Patriots were so good with Brady for so long with such a basic offense. People would blitz him, and it was just all quick passes, 5-6 yards every time. Maybe you rip one. And
Dorsey
just
never
easy.
adapted to that. He just wanted to keep doing
But he
it.
did in parts of the year. I don't like.
No,
I
I'm
did,
talking about this game.
I
though.
know.
He didn't do it.
I couldn't understand the play calling in this game.
He
like
might have been
all-
nervous.
The last
He was like, "Stick to the script."
Yeah, Romo said he thinks Allen got nervous because when Buffalo went up 17-0 versus a third-string quarterback, it seemed like it was over. And when Miami responded so well and like made a game out of it, all the pressure falls on Buffalo. You know, they have the expectation. Miami's just there. Nobody gave them a chance to win.
I mean, yeah, but then you look at the Dallas game last night, and they didn't do that. They got up by 24, and they were still being kind of aggressive. Like, it's a fucking playoff.
Well, Dak
game, man.
Dak played probably the best game of his career.
I was gonna say Dak was locked the
He
fuck
was
in.
just throwing the ball over the field, all perfect throws. Like he brought it. Like Allen was struggling, like you said, he was missing some throws under pressure all the time. So it's a little bit different.
I don't know. It's not like the offensive line's not going to get easier next game. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm telling you, our offensive line wasn't bad. They
No,
were
it
just
was bad.
rushing so many people. You can't block 500 pound men with 2 hands.
Spencer Brown is a fucking tomato can. Spencer Brown.
He's good. He's not good.
You're watching the same games I'm watching?
Yeah, dude.
Spencer Brown hardly touches some of these dudes. Like Spencer Brown, whenever he plays like a Pro Bowl caliber type of dude, literally sticks his arms out. They fucking knock his arms down. And they're around in a split second. Spencer Brown has been getting
No, man.
fucking annihilated.
I'm gonna go back and look and see what you're talking about.
Go
Because I'm
ahead.
telling you, they the way they were rushing their front, it's hard. Any team would have been hard.
It's
to,
been all
to-
year, though.
to block them.
It's been all year. Spencer Brown has been getting annihilated
I'm talking
all
about this game.
year.
I'm not talking about the regular season's gone in my head.
Yeah, it is gone, but it's the same problems. I have zero confidence Spencer Brown in blocking Trey Hendrickson or Sam Hubbard. Like, zero
I'm
confidence.
with my son too.
Zero confidence. So that's what I'm saying. It's not getting easier. Like
I didn't say it was getting easier.
the front that our offensive line has to deal with is just going to be the same shit. I mean,
I feel like they need to figure out a way to get. I feel like Hines is a good like defending on throws. I can't think of the word.
pass block.
Pass blocking. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Yeah, I couldn't think of the actual word for this shit.
Okay, make him a cornerback.
But I'm saying when shit like that's happening, I feel like they should bring him in.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I I think we're gonna win, but they gotta clean shit up. Dorsey needs to get the run game going. But moving on.
Dorsey
Well, not
needs
like
to learn
since
to-
he looked any better, so
That's true.
both teams have issues that they have to. I don't think they're really issues. I just think, like you guys said, you played a division opponent who already played you twice, knows you really well. Baltimore, you know, they really played Cincy perfectly. Like, they probably would have won if Lamar was in. I don't know. I mean, we'll get to that game.
They would have
but-
won if Hubbard didn't make that crazy play, honestly.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I'm sure Burrow would have went down there and did some shit though. There's still 11 minutes left.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't. If I was a Bengal or a Bill fan, I wouldn't be overreacting at all. I would just be happy as hell and
Yeah.
see what
Moved on.
happens.
Yeah, move down. We'll see. how it
Everyone
goes.
talking shit is their team's probably not in the playoffs no more.
It's facts.
They don't really care about the Bills. They're just on the bandwagon.
I mean, it makes me happy because these Dolphins fans were every year
They still talk shit.
Every year when the Bills, like back in the day when they sucked and they'd go 5-2 and then finish 8-8 or whatever, Dolphins fans were like the head of the committee. Oh, Bills fans talk shit. They win fucking 5 games. They act like they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, and they did that this year.
And they did that shit. They
I would
full
have liked to have
send
seen
on
Tua
that.
have been healthy though,
I don't give a fuck.
because their season would have been a lot. They wouldn't have been the 7th seed.
I don't.
They would have probably played like Jacksonville or something in the first round.
Nah. No, Tua wasn't looking great even when he was healthy.
No,
his
but
last
they
couple
were-
of games.
Who do you
But
play
he's a lot better than
against?
Skylar Thompson.
He lost to San Fran. Oh yeah, you're right. He lost to the Chargers. He lost to.
I think he lost his last. He lost his last games, right? That he played.
Yeah, but he missed like
He
3.
lost like
He missed
2 or
three of
3.
them?
He lost like 2 or 3, missed the rest.
Didn't they lose like 9 straight or some shit like that?
5.
No,
5?
not 9. They
I'm
would have made the
tripping.
playoffs. If it was 9.
It was like 5 straight.
yeah,
Then
I'm
they beat the
tripping.
Jets.
They beat the Jets 11-6. Like,
Didn't score a touchdown.
yeah, there's a whole different story with Lamar and Tua out there. But at the end of the day, it's Buffalo Cincy.
That's
Facts.
facts.
So yeah, Saturday opened up with Seattle at San Fran.
Seattle, San Fran.
So we can let Joe. How did you feel about Brock Purdy's playoff debut?
That's Big P. Purdy B. Big cock Brock.
That dude. I'm gonna be wrong in a year, dude.
Oh, you're so
wrong, buddy.
I'm gonna be wrong.
I'll tell you right
the
now.
plays that dude was making. Like I was thinking, like when the Bills were playing Skyler. Skyler was the last quarterback before Big P.
If Miami had Skyler.
So Miami could have had
Miami
Brock
had
Purdy.
Brock.
Drafted
Skylar Thompson was the
That's
last
funny as hell.
quarterback selected before Brock Purdy.
That's awesome.
We were dead.
And I'm thinking, I'm watching the game, and I'm like, this is what a 7th-round quarterback's supposed to look like. And I feel like if Skylar Thompson was in San Fran, they'd be winning games, but it wouldn't look anything how.
Skylar Thompson sucks.
Listen to me.
Well, listen, it still remains that any quarterback goes in that system and plays well.
And they did play. They had an easy schedule since he's played. So maybe Thompson could have won a couple, but
I feel like he'd win the games, but it would be like how it would just be like how they played with Jimmy G. No, Brock is like getting out of the pocket. That throw to Ayuk was
that he dropped,
crazy.
yeah, it was awesome.
I'm gonna be wrong.
You got some respect for my son now, though?
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yo, it's crazy.
Seattle
too,
or
'cause
not, he went out there and.
The respect will
Ball.
come this week because he hasn't played a defense like Dallas. Like,
But even
nowhere
if he
near.
struggles, it doesn't matter, dude. Like to go out there in a playoff game.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I'm just saying, like this is the real test if they can win the Super Bowl or.
Dallas's defense, the last like 5 weeks of the season, the reason I took that over is because they were like 17th in DVOA. They were like 5th all year, and then they were like 17th.
Yeah,
the
they
last
struggled
6,
to
7.
finish the season.
So that's the reason I took the over, which would have
But
hit.
this
But,
is the playoffs now.
yeah, and they
Like,
played really
guys
well
like Micah
yesterday.
Parsons are not taking plays off.
my son Michael Parsons was.
Michael Parsons was hurt for part of the
Yeah,
year,
so
prior to the end of the year.
That's
too.
what I mean. So he wasn't probably going hard every play, and they didn't have a lot of people. That's the thing. They didn't have too much to play for because they needed the Eagles to lose. And the Eagles weren't losing games.
This is gonna be a good game, man.
Yeah, I mean that is a really good matchup.
Dallas San Fran.
Yeah, because it's just an old classic rivalry too from like the early '90s. So, and last year San Fran sent them home, so you know that's on like Dak's mind, and they're not moving on from the kicker.
They're not.
No, they said he was so good all year they're not going to let one game. Jerry Jones said we're not even going to look at kickers.
And he came in and he hit the last one.
Dak said I played like shit last week. Nobody wanted to like basically drop me, so he's like I believe in Money Mayer more than anybody in the league or something like that. So
Do you think he got saved because Tampa played so bad?
who the kicker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he could have cost them the game for sure. Like missing one extra point could cost you the game. Let alone what he missed 4.
Yeah,
that what it
four,
was?
Yeah.
first 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's crazy.
I forgot about 4 of them shits.
Instead of it being 28-0, it's 24-0. Still technically a 3-possession game or 3 touchdowns in a field goal game. Definitely can't do that. But yeah, Dallas just
Like
played
doing that
so
shit
well.
against San Fran is
No, you're losing that
you're
game.
losing
for sure.
that game.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Oh, it's gonna be a close game. So just the Brock Purdy stats: 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Don't forget he ran one in. Oh, you didn't get there
I'm
yet.
not there yet. Ran one in. Completed a pass to 7 different receivers. Debo had probably the best game of the year.
Yeah, Debo looked really good, like really healthy.
People
and
look like he did
explosive.
last season.
Ayuk looked really good except for the drop, but he was
Yeah.
getting open, catching it. And McCaffrey is just
He's so good. Elijah Mitchell looks really good. Kittle was blocking the shit out of people. He'll make plays when they need him to. I think he'll have a bigger game receiving this week.
Yeah, I do too.
well. Mitchell only had 2 yards on 9 carries, but he did have the
Mitchell had 2 yards on 9 carries.
but he did
He
have
caught
the
the pass.
passing touchdown.
Oh, wow. I thought he had like 34 to like 40 rushing yards, I thought.
No,
He had
Samuel
2
had
yards
32.
on 9 carries?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but he had 2 catches, 25 yards, and a touchdown.
Wow.
That's probably you. Probably,
What was Debo's rushing stats?
He had 32 yards.
I was going to say, I knew somebody had 30 yards. I just assumed it was Mitchell when I like went back and looked.
But yeah, it basically was exactly what you expected in the second half. First half, the
Yes,
Seahawks.
first half, Seattle played really well.
Yeah,
I was
they
like,
were
wow,
able.
Seattle's like in it.
They were kind of like balling on the deep. Like Gino was like 9 of 10 or something.
He was at one point.
Walker was doing good.
I'm excited to talk about them when we do our off-season teams. with where
Yeah.
they stand with draft picks, and like I think they'll franchise tag Geno and shit. I think
Him
they're
getting
gonna be-
paid that much is going to be crazy, though.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. They have a chance to.
You know
like,
what?
really
Franchise tag
solidify
for the
team.
quarterback would be like $40 million.
I know. They already said that might be their move if they can't figure out like a contract with them.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Yeah. So but second half was just exactly what we expected it to be. Fucking
I wonder if he'll
Kenneth
play
Walker was doing great in first half. Nothing in the second half. Fucking Geno, I think, threw for like 90 yards in the second half, something like that. But would they score one touchdown second half
like
or
at the
two
end of the
field
game,
goals or
it was
something?
A touchdown to DK.
It was.
It didn't matter anymore.
It didn't. The defense was shutting everything down. Purdy's just balling. McCaffrey's
beat.
just balling. They're gonna be unstoppable.
Robbie Gold still never missed a kick in the playoffs in his whole career. Hit like 4 more field goals.
They're a perfect team.
Yeah.
They're a perfect fucking team. Their kicker, their punter, their fucking running backs, receivers, offensive line. There's not a
They
single.
have a good defense.
And now they got fucking Brock Purdy.
Their water boy.
Their water boy's probably the best in the league,
Keeping
man.
him hydrated.
The water boy's probably the best in the league.
They
Soon as
probably
them
give him this water. He'd probably be out there like this.
yeah, he's probably buying a bunch of fucking Aquapanas or whatever the fuck they're called.
Aquapana.
Sprinkling some electrolytes in that bitch. Soon as they get off the fucking sideline, it's just right there. He's probably fucking smashing it, and it's just flying and going in their mouths and shit.
That's some quality H2O.
Seriously, they probably got fucking Bobby Boucher over there.
Yeah, we got to see Purdy versus Dallas though. That's the test.
I don't think, dude. I get it, but like the way he looked.
Yeah, but he hasn't faced one team that has a good pass rush.
But but on the opposite side, the Cowboys use their run game to open up their pass game. The best fucking run defense in the league. Like it's a tough matchup for Dak.
Yeah, I'm not saying it like Dallas is gonna win. I'm just talking about strictly Purdy. I'm just very excited to see him play against this defense.
You gonna let this dude doubt your man or what?
It's not a doubt. It's just you were the doubter. I never said the man couldn't be
I know.
good.
I'm just trying.
You know why
I'm
this
trying to
argument came?
deflect.
Do
I'm
you know
trying
why
to
this
deflect.
argument came? Because you said
The man could not be
Brock
good.
Purdy has no chance to be good. He will not be starting on an NFL team. He won't do shit.
Listen, man, I'm like the father that leaves his son, man. I was just trying to give him some adversity.
No,
so
dude.
he could be great.
No.
He
No.
heard what I said, and he said that random ass guy in Niagara Falls, New York, doesn't believe me. I'm
It's
gonna
like
go
every
ball
week.
out.
Every week since that week, we've had a Brock Purdy segment.
Facts. I think he's thrown over 300 yards every game.
He won't. Nah, but he
What,
won't.
he missed like one or two?
I know we're watching it at 2:34 because me and Joe were looking it up.
See, he
'Cause
sucks, dude.
they have a pretty
It's
good-
great. Washington
has a good defense.
Yeah, every quarterback has their worst game
Yeah.
against Washington.
That's why I want to see him play versus Dallas. It's not that I don't think he can win or put up good numbers. I just don't think he's gonna crush them like he did Seattle. Like
I don't know. Minshew was out there slinging against them motherfuckers.
That was some bullshit though. We saw the real Minshew versus the Saints the next week. There's always those weird ass games that either Vegas puts together or teams
that's a-
underestimate or.
That's a division game too, right? Dallas Eagles.
Yeah, it was just weird though. Minshew was just throwing perfect passes that whole game. And the next week he didn't get a touchdown versus the Saints. It was just weird.
Oh, when the
But,
Saints.
Let's talk about the third biggest comeback in NFL postseason history. Saturday night game.
Trevor Lawrence, man. Prince
What'd
that was
you think
promised.
of that? He went from just probably the worst start to a playoff career ever.
Yeah, he looked like Nathan Peterman.
Dude, it was insane. Every pass was just in like I guess I missed the first few, but my cousin was telling. I think Steve was also saying there was like a couple missed flags that led to the interceptions. Did you see him?
Yeah,
Yeah, I missed them too.
but it wasn't like they were still bad throws. And I think what quarterbacks do sometimes is they're like, oh, they see a call
They
and
anticipate a flag.
and they attack it, and it's like you can't do that until you know the flag's coming.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but some quarterbacks do it, and then it doesn't work out in their favor. But either way, it means more to me that he did that than if he just would have had a perfect game. Like if he would have went out there, thrown 5 touchdowns, had nothing go wrong from the whole game, it would have been super impressive. But the fact that you throw
overcame
4
adversity.
interceptions,
Yeah,
you're down
27-0.
27-0 to fucking Justin Herbert, the Chargers, and then you just like it's nothing. You go
Yeah.
out there and have a perfect half.
So can we say though Trevor Lawrence is better than Justin Herbert?
We could say Doug Peterson's better than
Staley for sure. I think Trevor Lawrence legitimately has a shot at being like Trevor Lawrence is like a.
Hear me out though. He how long?
Because Herbert didn't throw 4 picks. Herbert didn't put his team in a position to lose the game. Lawrence did.
But he didn't keep the lead either.
Well,
That's Staley. Staley sucks.
That's
but
not his fault. When he did miss throws. Don't get me wrong. Like he had Keenan Allen open in the back of the end zone on 3rd and goal, which would have gave them 31 instead of 27. But he don't call the plays. It's not his fault. He's told to hand the ball off or throw these screens and all this other shit. It's just
At the
it's
same
difference.
time, though, like you can only get so many excuses. Like,
Oh yeah, Herbert. I'm just saying you can't say Lawrence is better. He threw 4 interceptions without 27-0.
I don't. You can't say it now, but I think
I'd rather have Lawrence.
I think Lawrence will be better than Herbert. I think Lawrence will be like top 4 in the conversation with.
Lawrence is a winner. He's always been a winner his whole career,
Yeah, and he's
his whole life.
He's,
That's what they
he
said.
was in the
They said he's never lost a game in high school on Saturday, and now he's never lost a
game. He never
game
lost a
in
game ever.
NFL on
This is his
Saturday.
third NFL game on Saturday, but he was a better prospect at every single juncture of his life. And then, like, of course, when you get to the NFL, sometimes that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But now that you're seeing he can handle the speed of the NFL, I just don't see why. Herbert's got, like, better arm talent. Like, he could throw further, and he's going to make better plays down the field. But I just don't, like, I think Lawrence processes the field better. I think Lawrence makes better decisions. I think Lawrence takes what's given to him more often. We need to see Justin Herbert with a coach that opens shit up for him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we've also seen Lawrence
Yeah, 'cause
with
you got a coach who Mike Williams didn't play.
yeah.
What would Lawrence have done without Zay Jones or Christian Kirk? Like, there's a lot that goes into it, and it just shows how bad Staley and that coaching staff is. The beginning of the game, the Chargers were playing zone, and it was confusing Lawrence. He was throwing interceptions, whatever. Then he figured it out. Peterson, whatever they did, and all their plays were these easy throw, you know what I mean, like pitch and catch. And the Chargers just kept playing that same defense. After the Jags figured it out, they didn't have another game plan to go to.
And it
And the Jags just scored every possession.
It goes back to what we were talking about with Ken Dorsey. Like the Doug Peterson adapted.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson's been in that situation before too.
Yeah, but I'm saying he adapted to what he was like. Well, this isn't working. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's change our play calls to this. And
And
the
then they
Chargers
just was
just and then Bosa gets the penalty on the unsportsmanlike.
He cost him the game, really.
I don't think so, though. I think
No.
you're up 27-0. That's not he makes a mistake and they let Lawrence get the 2-point conversion, but then they benched Bosa the final possession.
Yeah, that's
It's not a time to
There
make
might
an
have been some-
example.
I
of
wonder-
somebody.
but I
fine the
wonder-
dude or
Yeah.
something like
No, but I wonder if they did that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if they did that because, maybe his temper was like real bad, and they didn't want to him cause another.
that's true.
Yeah,
Like,
but
they didn't
another
wanna-
flag.
That's ridiculous,
Yeah.
though.
and to be fair, that
You're
was
talking
a
about one
missed
of the
call.
best players in
No,
the
I
entire
get.
league.
I get it. I'm thinking maybe in their head they're like,
You're,
we can't-
you're
we
out.
can't
You're out
afford it.
thinking yourself.
This dude, this is exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
It
You're
definitely is possible. He had 2 penalties because he got one on 2 extra points, 2 different calls. Like, so he wasn't ejected. I forgot like what the explanation was. So I get it, but at the same time, he's your best player. He's your chance to sack, fumble Lawrence.
Right.
And I mean, I get though on that play.
I wouldn't have
It was a
benched him.
missed. It was a missed holding call, 100%.
And a false start
Yeah,
on the same play. It was 2 penalties that weren't called.
the false start was very close, but like it was a hold. It was
Yeah.
by far a hold. Bosa made a perfect move on the dude. The dude grabbed him underneath his arm. It was a hold.
Right.
Like he was pissed. I get it, but
Obviously, you can't take your helmet off and slam it. And
no, but we
But
saw
you could do-
Brady did that shit 1,000
No, but he
times.
did it on the field.
He did it on the field.
That's
I
the
get
only
it.
reason. If he went to the sideline, he probably wouldn't have got a penalty.
well, he can't. You can't give somebody a penalty for what they do on the sideline.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but yeah, he's an idiot. He does it on
Yeah,
the field.
I get it. Dumbass play call, but
It's just the Chargers. That's how they lose games. That's their organization.
it's been like that since fucking
Yeah,
Philip
they had
Rivers
the
and
best
LT.
teams a couple times and couldn't do anything in the playoffs.
Staley's costed him twice now. I don't see how they don't move on.
Just think about what he did the last two week 18s in his one playoff game is calls a timeout when the Raiders were content with a tie. Both teams make the playoffs. They lose. He was going in that same game. He was going like 4th and 2 on his own 20. Then he plays Mike Williams. Mike Williams gets hurt, and then this game he blows a 27-0 lead. I've seen enough. We talked about it before the Jags game that none of us liked the guy, and then he proved us
Wait,
right.
what do you mean 4th and 2?
Like last year against the Raiders,
year.
it's 4th and 2 on their own 20, like 4-yard line. He just
Yeah.
goes for it, hands a tackler, gets stuffed, and the Raiders are in the red zone. And like that, that's how you lose games.
Every time you
And
watch
then
the Chargers,
they were not going to kick the field goal.
No, the Chargers or the Raiders were gonna kick the field goal.
Well, they weren't going to kick the field goal. They were
Oh,
going
they
to
were
let the
gonna
time
take the
go
tie,
out.
yeah.
And the Chargers call the timeout.
And the Chargers
Yeah.
called the timeout.
and
They
like
kicked the
force the
field goal.
Raiders to have to
Yeah.
to go, to make a play.
But like every time you watch, and this goes back to maybe Herbert is better than Lawrence. He just doesn't have the coaching. I mean, you look how bad Lawrence was his rookie year because he had fucking Urban Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe that's the case with Herbert. But like the fact that Herbert was able to win 11 games, almost beat the Chiefs twice, and has this guy, every time you watch them play, it's like he has a total lack of understanding on who his team is. You have Justin Herbert, who can throw the ball down the field better than anyone not named Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. You got this
Or Purdy.
or Purdy.
Shout out.
And instead of utilizing that, even in the offseason going and getting playmakers other than – because Mike Williams is the only big playmaker on the team. I guess Palmer's kind of developed into it. Carter has made a couple plays, but
They're
Yeah,
not-
who the
they're
fuck
not-
are they?
they're not- they're not.
Who are they?
Yeah.
You only have Mike Williams. You don't go out and get big play guys. So from the very beginning, before the season even starts, you're not adapting your offense to your quarterback. Then when you actually play the game, you're making – that guy throw dump offs to Eckler all the time, and then you talk about the 4th and 2 last year. Eckler's not even a between the tackles runner,
Right.
and on 4th and 2, the best play you could come up with is giving this little ass running back the ball when you need the first down. He has no understanding of his personnel.
Yeah, but you know another thing though, something that's like worked for them is them dumping the ball to Eckler.
But has it worked?
Kind of, but
they did.
either way, he makes plays when they do that.
Yeah.
Go look how many receptions he had in that game. 3.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, I get
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like you're gonna. So not only do you like blow the game, you don't go to what you even think like something that's worked for you during the year.
Well,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
that probably goes to that was the only thing. That was their only offense all year. The Jags were probably prepared for that, and
I'm pretty sure Eckler didn't catch the ball either game versus them. I think with having like Olakun and some of those linebackers.
yeah, they have
I
athleticism
just don't
at
think
position.
that Jacksonville was going to let that happen. I'm almost
Maybe.
positive he only caught like 4 for 20 the first game too.
I'll go look right now.
But
So Jacksonville, like they deserve credit for that. The problem with Lawrence and Herbert, I do think Herbert's better, but I think Lawrence has the it factor of like knowing how to win, and Herbert doesn't. He doesn't, like you said, he almost beat Kansas City twice.
well, this was like Joe Burrow versus Herbert last year. It was the conversation last year. Is Joe Burrow better than Herbert? And everyone's like, no, look at he just has a better surrounding cast, blah, 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 blah. But every time you need a play, he makes the play.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow has to be better than Herbert.
He has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, Herbert has to fucking prove it. I don't care. Every excuse, you give him every excuse in the book if you want.
Eckler had 2 catches.
The
last
people
game.
ahead of Herbert,
the first time they played.
No, the last game.
Oh yeah, I knew that. I was talking about the first game.
He had 4 targets. I'm about to go look at the rest.
yeah, so it's had to be something defensively. But a lot of people, there's so many Herbert apologists out there. Like I've already seen videos on TikTok about how this isn't Herbert's fault, and maybe it's not. But until
Jacksonville
he
smacked
does
him
it,
the first time
yeah, they beat the shit out of him.
That's why I liked the Chargers that first game.
Until
Or
he
this
does
game.
it, they need to stop putting him in the conversation.
Yeah,
He doesn't fucking deserve to be in the conversation. I don't care how many great throws he makes.
You know how many
Carson Wentz
receptions
was
he had?
making throws.
8.
He had 8 catches that
He had
first
8
game?
catches
Holy
the first
fuck.
game.
So that's silly then.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
But they were getting crushed.
Oh no,
so.
no. He had 8.
Yeah, so maybe they were just checking out at the end or something.
Back to my conversation before I was really interrupted.
I wasn't. This
I'm
this was the original conversation.
I get it. Whatever. People
Your
just
joke
keep
sucked
saying,
today.
huh?
Your joke sucked today.
It wasn't a joke.
Oh, should have been.
Shut the fuck up. People keep putting Herbert in this conversation with like Mahomes and Burrow and Josh Allen and all these people, and he's done nothing. Like Carson Wentz was making these kind of throws too early in his career. Like,
I think,
and Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate early in his career, and look at where he is now.
but I think they do that because he came in. He was Tyrod's backup. He came in and started. He just looked good.
First round pick. I mean, they put him.
No, but I'm saying he came in and like won games. So like they're like, wow, this guy's good.
He didn't make. It's not like he made the playoffs. This is his first playoff game. He lost it. They didn't make the playoffs last year. I just don't get it. What world does Herbert with an 0-1 playoff record and have never made the playoffs before this year belong in the conversation with? No one belongs in the conversation with Mahomes anyway.
But at the
with
time,
Josh
that wasn't
Allen,
the
who's
case.
won
That's why.
4 playoff games now, with Joe Burrow, who's made it to a Super Bowl, and now fucking Trevor Lawrence just beat him head-to-head in a playoff
No, but
game
I'm
in
saying
his second
the
year.
conversation before it was before all this.
But you shouldn't. Exactly. It was before. It's
but-
before he accomplished
No, yeah,
anything.
but I'm saying. So he comes out. He's throwing for 3-something a game, winning games. They're like, wow, this dude is good.
But he's not.
But he's
winning
not winning
He
games,
didn't make
that's
the
what
playoffs.
I'm
saying, yeah.
I mean, even Josh Allen in his second year, who was up and down, made the playoffs. He lost his game, but no one was saying. Everyone was picking on Josh Allen coming into his third year. Everyone was like, the Bills are never going to be good with Josh Allen. And then third year comes, he makes the playoffs again. He wins a game, and then his fourth year, he makes it to the AFC Championship game. But still, there's people that like hate on Josh Allen. But on the other end of things, Justin Herbert hasn't even made the playoffs before this year.
I
He
get it.
loses his first playoff game in his third or fourth year.
This is his third.
His third year when Josh Allen was an MVP candidate and Joe Burrow made the Super Bowl in his second year.
Really, his first year, because his
Yeah.
first year he had the ACL tear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, late in the season,
Yeah.
they were dead.
I thought it was halfway, but I get it.
Yeah,
Though.
they were dead.
But after just slandering Herbert a little bit, he still is a top 5 talent in the league, and I think the fact that Staley still has a job today and his coordinators were the scapegoats for this, for him wasting Justin Herbert's talent, is fucking ridiculous. Everyone has accepted that Staley has been the play caller all year. So why is the offensive coordinator getting fired? Nothing's going to change unless
Maybe that's why I told you earlier, though, they might be trying to bring in a legit, like a good offensive coordinator that's going to
And
take
then
over the
take the
duties.
job
This guy
from
wasn't good
Staley.
enough.
That
That's
makes
why
sense.
Staley had to have the. That's why he took the play calling duties over.
Because that's
I
what
get it,
Hackett was
like-
trying to do, right?
Who?
Hackett, he was making the calls. They didn't have a good offensive
Yeah,
coordinator.
And McCarthy gave up his to Winslow or
more.
So I mean, I guess it could happen, but I don't know. I just don't see why the dude has a job.
Yeah, I don't like him
It's
at all.
It's ridiculous. If I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm like, you didn't even let me do my job. This dude was doing all the
And
play
you took
calling.
Mike Williams from me because you played an injury-prone player in a meaningless game in Week 18.
And even if they do get good play calling, say he stops calling the plays, he's still in charge of clock management. He's still in charge if they go for it on fourth or not. He's still in charge of all that shit. So you're still having at least half the problems next year that you had this year.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Okay, he made the playoffs, so he can't be fired. Fuck that. I mean, look at the NBA.
yeah. Making the playoffs means nothing when they spent like fucking $1 billion on their team this year to make it to beat Mahomes. They didn't do that. They lost to him twice. Mahomes still won the division, and you lost in the wild card weekend. That wasn't a good season. No Charger fan wanted. People thought Super Bowl this year for the Chargers. Their fan base thought they were going to do something. So making the wild card and losing to me should be, he could get fired for that.
And I feel like the talent on their team, like the window's not that large for them to go make a
Right.
Super Bowl run.
Yeah, it's not like they have a bunch of young
So
players.
they-
They have Khalil Mack and
Keenan Allen.
yeah, I mean
and-
they did have a lot of injuries though. Like they'll get J.C. Jackson back next year and some of their
Yeah.
old linemen, but they're not just a really young team.
So I
No,
I
Eckler,
think
I mean, at this point.
I think it's an
Yeah.
easy call for like the GM or whatever to just fire him.
But I guess if they're going to start with the coordinators and everybody else, give him one more chance, and then if he can't do it, then he'll go next year.
Or maybe they want to see if they can get somebody else and they didn't fire him yet, which
it's
is a very
possible.
possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like
still
why
gonna
take the
happen, I
confidence
guess.
away? Like, oh my god, my job's gone. Like, nah, you're good, but behind the scenes, yo, what's good?
yeah,
you
then
know what
if
I
they
mean?
don't get the guys they want,
Yeah.
then they can.
If I'm them, like Peyton's out there, like
Oh, that's what I was thinking yesterday. Actually, how aren't they involved in the Payton talks?
If they get Sean Payton, I'd be. They'll
they
be
have-
scary.
there's enough receiver help in this draft because I think they need to retool their receiving core. They can't just lean on Keenan Allen getting open for 8, 9 yards, 10 yards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
but with
been
Mike
getting hurt
Williams
and-
there too, though.
Yeah, but you can't
and
just
Everett's
have one.
pretty good.
You can't just have one.
They
Keenan
didn't
Allen.
use Everett all year.
Keenan
He waited to
Allen's
the playoffs to finally be like, oh wow, this is why we got Gerald Everett.
yeah, and Keenan Allen's always hurt. So
He's
like
old.
Mike
Keenan
Williams
Allen,
is
Mike
always
Williams are
hurt.
getting older too. Well,
Yeah.
Keenan Allen is old.
He's like
for a
32,
receiver,
right?
Yeah.
So they need playmakers.
And
It's
Josh
simple as that.
Palmer's not good.
No, he
I
drops the
think
ball
we
all the
talk
time.
about him like he's a good player. He just is a player.
He's a decent player.
He's just on that offense.
He's
that-
good enough
yeah.
to be in the NFL and not
Yeah, so
trusted to make the
Yeah,
big
I can't ever
plays.
see
So
him
if
being
they
like
try
that,
to
too.
go after Peyton, the Saints said they want a first-round pick, but like you guys just mentioned, they need playmakers, and this draft is kind of filled with them.
Well, if you're trying to win,
do they take that risk of sending their late first round that they have?
I
Because that's
would.
what the Saints want.
I wouldn't do that, but I wonder if they could give him like some future shit. Like, are the Saints saying they only would take this year's pick?
I'm not 100% sure, but they said some type
Yeah, I
of
did see that. I
later
just wasn't
late first
sure.
round. Yeah.
I think I would because what Sean Payton could bring to them, like they have a Super Bowl contending team if
Yeah.
it's put together
The
right.
thing about it, Peyton, though, he can't catch the ball or keep them guys healthy.
That's true.
They have to get
That is true.
good young talent around.
I think Peyton is doing more for this team next year than any person they can get in the first round where they're picking.
For this 1 year, that's all I was saying too.
No,
Where are
I
they
mean,
picking?
they'll be like around 20.
20.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know, man. They get Jordan Addison or something like that. You're telling me Sean Payton's gonna do
it
more?
doesn't matter if look at everyone left in the playoffs. I mean, look at the coaches: Kyle Shanahan, Sean McDermott, Andy Reid, fucking Doug Peterson. I mean, Mike McCarthy. But like you got a coach for an extended period of time.
You don't need just Sean Payton. You could go get a better coach that's not requiring you to lose out.
How many coaches are out there?
I don't know. Somebody better than Brandon Staley.
I would do it.
They could hire you and keep their first round pick, and I think that'd be better than what they have right now.
I would do it.
There's been a word today, maybe potentially Frank Reich, either OC or if they do fire Staley, head him back to the Chargers.
Yeah, that'd be like something like that would be.
I would
solid.
like Frank Reich over there.
Is OC
Yeah,
as the coach.
a head coach?
I'd be fine with that.
he kind of shit the bed with the Colts.
He did, but it happens. That don't mean he can't. Like,
It doesn't mean he can't coach.
Like McCarthy might win a Super Bowl with Dallas, and you know how much I
Well,
hate him.
a lot happened in Indy, so it's fully not on him, but partially. But
Especially when you talk about, you just said you
But
can't
then you
win
see-
without a quarterback. He didn't have a quarterback.
Not for nothing though. Frank Wright was winning games. They had a chance last year. He was their coach last year, right?
Yeah.
They had a chance last year to make the playoffs. You see what Jeff Saturday came in and did, so he couldn't have been doing that much wrong because he was winning games.
Yeah,
at
the
least.
team just sucked. I'm sorry, Tank, but yeah, the team just sucked. I mean, I think Reich should get a chance, and I wouldn't mind that hire there. But I think you look at how the Saints played without Sean Payton.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Sean Payton makes a big enough difference just because he's not an on-field talent. Like I think a first-round pick for a guy who could be your coach for the next 5-6 years, in the end, is really nothing.
But
and then
all
you
I'm
got a
saying is
second-round pick, and you still got a ton of playmakers in this draft that will be in the second round.
If Houston and Arizona are in on Sean Payton, they're not trading the second and third overall pick. So what I'm saying is there has to be a future first-round pick is acceptable.
Yeah.
Houston's not giving up fucking C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young for Sean Payton ever in life.
No.
And Arizona's not giving up pick 3. So there has to be
Arizona's got pick 3.
Yeah. There has to be some type of talk that maybe the Saints would take a future first and maybe throw in like a 5th or something.
That's
if
true.
the Chargers could do that, and yeah, because he's not going to coach for you again anyway. So yeah, it would be a steal, honestly. I think they should do that. And I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I just think the Chargers are at a point right now where if they did that for Sean Payton, they would have like 1 or 2 years to win the Super Bowl. Unless they made some crazy changes that we can't see right now.
I don't know. Sean Payton kept the Saints relevant for the entire time he was the coach, even like with a couple years without Drew Brees.
Yeah, but what was relevant?
I mean,
Since
he won a Super Bowl.
What did he do?
He made it the NFC Championship. Lost on. Well, no,
he got screwed versus the Rams on that pass interference.
Yeah, he made that. Did he make the NFC Championship the year before that too?
Not that I remember.
I'm pretty sure they lost in the NFC Championship 2 years in a row.
I don't remember.
I don't know, but they were always a playoff team. They were always a contender.
Yeah, well, let's just say the Chargers were a playoff team this year. So what if they just become?
But they were winning playoff games. Like it wasn't just like they were making it to the
coach for the
playoffs.
Saints right now?
Dennis Allen.
He didn't get fired.
No, he had no reason to.
No.
They just sucked.
That team's horrible. The roster's horrible. That's why Sean Payton left, in my opinion. He's like, this team's going downhill. I'm out of here. Why would he leave and then be willing to take over all these other coaching jobs? Who wants to coach Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston? Like he could, if he goes to the Texans, he's gonna get his own quarterback to take over, like to coach.
And they got a decent team.
Their defense is good. I feel like they could have won more games this year. They were just like not trying. Yeah, they had to have.
Yeah,
because their defense is legitimately good. They were like the top 5 in pass rush win rate. They fucked Stingley, Petrie. Like their defense is good. And Davis Mills before this year was decent, and it was just trash this year. But anyway, moving on. The next game, Giants-Vikings, was a really good game.
Told you it would be.
Giants won.
Yeah.
Giants scored 31 points.
Think about that though.
Barkley
Let's go back to the closet
had,
and think
I know
about
he,
what we
but
talked
he
about
had
in the
1 touchdown
closet.
or 2?
Barkley had 2, and he scored the game winner.
2 touchdowns. He only had 9 carries, which is crazy.
I thought
5
that was
catches
stupid
though.
too, but Daniel Jones ran for like 70 yards, so I guess that makes sense.
My son Hodgins.
That's not. That's White Vic, dude.
Yeah, Jones played the bet. It was the first player to ever, I think it was playoff debut, have 300 yards passing and 70 yards rushing.
You know he's finished the year with almost 800 yards rushing.
He played.
He was like 3rd in the league in
Dable's
quarterbacks.
really the man for that.
They said they put up a picture with Dable, and then they put a picture of Josh Allen and Daniel Jones. They have a bubble saying, "Show me the difference."
It's just crazy because like Daniel Jones has sucked his whole career. Dable comes there, doesn't even give him playmakers, but like he's got Isaiah Hodgins having amazing games. Slayton's crushing. Richie James eats.
I thought it was Jake Kumaro. Oh no, it was Isaiah Hodgins.
What's wrong with you?
I'm talking shit about the Bills.
Yeah, because you guys
Because we kept a
player who
30-year-old.
does
suck today.
We kept a 30-year-old special teams blocker over a 23-year-old with this kind of potential.
Yeah, he was just making terrific.
I can't believe
catches.
how good he is.
And he was doing good in the preseason. It's not like this came out of nowhere. Isaiah Hodgins was making plays in the preseason.
The thing was that they didn't want to they wouldn't have gave Gabe Davis's job to him.
No, but
then they wanted to put that Crowder and McKenzie in the slot.
you just have depth. There's nothing wrong with having depth.
No, but they did. They left him on the practice squad.
Where anyone
And the
could
Giant
take him.
Dable was like, "Yo, send that."
Yeah, facts. Dable was watching him practice and thought he was pretty good. Dude just went on the team and started crushing.
I saw Dable went to the Giants, sat everybody, went and got random players.
Yeah.
He got mad Bills players, I think, too.
Yeah, he deserves like coach of the year. At least
He
like,
has
to be
to
in the talk. Yeah.
He has to be. Who else would get it?
Then the Vikings got them throwing. Yeah,
Peterson. Yeah, Peterson. But yeah, I guess so. They sucked last year. They got the number 1 pick. Worst to a playoff team.
But
they wouldn't have made it in any other division though.
That's true.
The Giants had to make it coming out, as the third team.
Would they
in the
made
division.
they probably would have had the Dolphin spot.
I don't know.
I don't know how that would have worked. But anyway,
I'll tell you right now, Dable should probably be the coach of the year.
Dable to me Dable gets
He went
it.
there and turned that whole team around. Him and the GM. Who was it? Who went there?
It was our
Sheen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that this dude goes to a team, no receivers. Offensive line isn't bad, isn't good, it's whatever.
Yeah, they're like working on it.
Daniel Jones, who everyone had written off. Their defense wasn't amazing. It wasn't like they had any part of the team where it was like, well, at least other than Barkley, well, at least you got
He's
that.
always hurt.
Yeah, and this happened. I mean, then he wins the playoff game,
Yeah.
Now they're feeling good. Talk about division.
and now it's a division
yeah.
game. Like if it was anyone else, if they played the 49ers, maybe they get blown out. But you're playing the Eagles. It's the third fucking time you play them. Like anything can fucking happen now. Like if he gets into the NFC Championship game, I don't care that he just signed his contract. Throw that out. Give him an extra 4 years on top of whatever he already has, and make him the highest paid coach in the league. That's nuts. What the Giants are doing, I think we all called them frauds.
Yeah, I didn't think the Giants were good, but they beat the team that I thought.
Another fraud. Yeah.
If they beat the Eagles, I'll really respect it. But I said last week on the show I thought they'd beat the Vikings.
They still beat a team that was far more talented than they are.
Yeah, well, when it's 4th and 8, you throw the ball 3 yards to a tight end.
Oh my God, dude!
The entire fourth quarter, I think Jefferson had 1 target, and everything else was was check downs.
While we're on this, can they, like, not for nothing, I know Kirk had a good season, but, like, can they stay with him?
I just don't think they could do better.
Yeah, right now it's like, where do they go?
You don't think
That's
they could
what
draft
sucks.
one, maybe?
Not with, I mean, they could draft
They're
one,
gonna
but
have like the 20. Even if they lose today, they'll have.
Dude,
like
it
the
seems like
24th
every
pick.
time Kirk's under like pressure, he just folds.
I mean, because even if you draft somebody, is that rookie gonna
be
be
better. Yeah.
He's not, because Kirk Cousins still is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. He just is never going to win a Super. Like he's just one of those guys. Like why I always told you guys I hated Derek Carr. Those guys are good quarterbacks, but they're never going to win.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's Kirk Cousins is very similar to that. But Kirk Cousins puts up big numbers though.
Kirk
He just doesn't
Cousins.
win when it comes down like to the clutch wins.
That throw, like, I mean, when Jefferson's out there, I don't
It's 4th
care.
and 8 your season
I
on the line.
don't
I'm
care.
throwing it up, hoping for pass interference.
Yeah.
I mean, you check down Hawkinson, the
You see-
game's over.
You see what he did to us?
What
on
did he
that
think was
4th and
going to happen
18?
there?
Yeah, he just
Jefferson went up and grabbed the shit.
He must have had a bad read. I think he thought he had to have thought the guy that wasn't going to be on Hawkinson and he would just be able to catch and run. The dude was just on top of him.
He was on him. Like maybe he's such good coverage. He was actually behind Hawkinson and no one could see
he
him.
couldn't have
Like,
seen him. Like he threw it so confidently, like that was it. Like that's the play. Boom, let's go. And it's like, well, good game. Like it was just a horrible ending to the game. That drive was horrible. I thought it was gonna be like an exciting finish, and it was just a bunch of checkdowns and.
I didn't even
Giants
like.
win.
I couldn't even say anything when he made that throw. I was like, the fuck?
It was just
Yeah,
over.
I'm happy for my guy Barkley though. You could see him on the sidelines, like getting after his teammates. Like he was just pumped all game. Like they wanted that shit more than Minnesota.
And I think that sets up a better NFC Championship game. Eagles. I think Eagles Giants would be more entertaining than Eagles Vikings.
Oh, NFC divisional, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't say NFC
Oh, not
championship.
conference,
Nothing
yeah.
would be more entertaining than
You
if
all
we
over
get
the
Philly,
place
San
today.
Fran.
Philly San Fran.
That would just be great.
Even Philly Dallas. I mean, like you
I just
get
I'm sick of seeing division games.
Really?
Yeah, but it would be a good game. But I want a Philly San Fran, man. That'd be
That's
you
what I
need
want
it.
to.
I mean,
that'd be
yeah.
real good.
I want to see Purdy versus them.
Because the AFC, as long as KC wins, we're going to get a great AFC championship regardless of what happens in your guys' game.
What if he doesn't?
What if it's just Jacksonville and the Bengals?
What if it's
They put
Jacksonville?
that shit in Atlanta in a way.
Jags Bills revenge game from when they beat us last year.
At least all the teams on the NFC side have like good fan bases, like good markets. But could you imagine if it was Cincinnati, Jacksonville?
That'd be
Like those are the
crazy.
two markets in the fucking NFC or AFC championship.
That'd be wild.
Trevor Lawrence versus Joe Burrow.
It's crazy, too, in the NFC. Dak's the most
Dude.
experienced
Well, that happened
quarterback
before,
left.
right? In like the Rose Bowl or some shit.
National championship.
National championship. That's what I meant.
Who? Oh, Lawrence and Burrow.
Yeah.
Burrow
No.
smoked his cleats off.
I thought Burrow would be.
No, he beat
Lawrence.
Lawrence. He beat the shit out of him real bad.
Oh yeah, Lawrence won the year before that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But can we talk about that for a second?
Which
Dak's
one?
the most experienced quarterback left in the NFC.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Like, Dallas is in position. This is
Dak
their
is?
best chance to win the NFC.
They've had
by
a
far.
couple playoff games. Lost.
He won.
He won
though.
one.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts is
Jalen
0-1
Hurts
in the
only lost
playoffs.
one.
Jalen Hurts 0-1. Daniel Jones 1-0. Purdy 1-0. Like, none of these guys have been here. Dak's been in the second round of the playoffs a couple times. None of these guys have played an NFC divisional playoff game. I think this is Dak's third, I want to say.
Is it his third? That was his second.
No.
It's his
I think he's only won one playoff game.
I think so too.
Unless they had a
Besides this one.
one seed before.
I'm pretty sure they had two.
Yeah,
This is
they
his
had a
second.
1 seed.
Did they?
Yeah. You guys be tripping me out, man.
But maybe that makes sense. But he didn't.
Yeah, he had a
He
one.
didn't
Yeah,
win
he
the
only
game.
won one
He
playoff
only
game.
won one play.
Yeah.
game.
That's irrelevant to what I'm
yeah.
saying. You guys not listening to me? I
Listen,
said
dude.
Dak's playing his third NFC divisional game. I never said Dak won 2 playoff games to get there. He was a first-round seed. Aaron Rodgers went there and beat his ass with a last-second field goal. Okay? And then the other one he lost to the Rams. C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley
Why are you
ran
so
all over.
spicy today, dude?
Because you guys got me thinking I'm wrong. I'm like, is this fucking... I'm like,
No,
I
we were
swear.
just thinking because
I
I was
wasn't
thinking
thinking
because I
one
knew he
seeds.
only won one playoff
Yeah,
game.
me too.
Yeah, but... Yeah. We beat Green Bay. Remember Jared Cook made that catch
Yeah.
on the sidelines? They were the 1 seed that year. That's what it was.
That makes sense.
Dak first. if the Cowboys make the fucking Super Bowl,
I said the
man.
Cowboys were the one team outside of the top 5 that could make it. So
Yeah, you did.
it really wouldn't surprise me. But what Dak will show up week 18 versus Washington or last week where he was probably the best quarterback this whole weekend?
Brock Purdy.
Daniel Jones.
I'm saying Dak. That dude was dropping dimes everywhere.
He was, yeah. And that's actually because he led the league in turnovers, and that was what they were saying. Like he never. What we got so mad about was that he would never throw the ball in the tight spaces. So he
Yeah.
was throwing the guys. The CD's doubled. Amari
was
Cooper's
dropping
doubled.
dimes
He's
to-
throwing to fucking Ferguson because he's wide open.
Yeah.
He wouldn't feed his good. This year he's been feeding them, but it's just been leading because he's not passing with the same
He got
accuracy.
Schultz involved again, who I think he's a good player. The Cowboys offense puts up points when Schultz is involved. The reason why I like the way Dak played is because I look at Daniel Jones played well, but he played the 32nd ranked pass defense, so like he should have a good game.
Yeah.
Purdy played well, but he had a lot of short plays. Like he throws the ball to Debo, and Debo runs 80 yards for a touchdown. That's cool. I mean, he made a lot of great plays. I just thought Dak was just dropping buckets all over the place.
Yeah, I
So
get that.
Ty was involved.
Yeah, it was weird. Like Lamb only had 4 for about 60 or 70 and a touchdown.
What'd you need? Just 50?
Yeah. So he throws for how many yards did he throw for? Like 350. He had
look it
5
up.
touchdowns. I mean, he played amazing, I thought.
We just skipped right over the Bengals Ravens game. That's all right. We'll get back to it. He had 305 yards, 4 touchdowns.
And he ran one in.
Ran one in.
Yeah, so he had 5 touchdowns. And his best receiver only had, like Lamb being the number 1, it didn't matter. Like Schultz had, 85 yards?
Schultz had 95, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Lamb had 68, a touchdown. Gallup had 46, a touchdown.
Yeah, it's crazy. What were some, like,
Ferguson had a touchdown, right?
no, Schultz had
Oh, you got
2,
to the-
Lamb
Schultz had
had
2.
1, and Gallup had 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferguson
Ferguson
only
had a
had the
real
one
nice catch. How long was that?
34 yards.
Yeah. I thought he got in. I forgot because then I wanted Zeke to get in.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Zeke looked like shit, but Pollard was out there.
Pollard's just so much better.
Yeah. Zeke might be. I mean, he's got 1 year left before they can cut him. Or maybe they could cut him after this year,
Yeah, I
but
was
they're
gonna
never
say,
going to cut
maybe.
him. They're not going
Yeah.
to cut him, but
I mean,
Jones just loves him. And I respect it. he gave him a lot of good years before they were like actually good.
He's pretty
I mean,
reliable too. He'll play through injuries.
Yeah.
And he can block. I don't know. I
and
still
he'll always
like
be a
him.
good goal line
Pollard's
back.
just really good.
Yeah.
They were smart though. They gave Pollard was the lead back yesterday.
Yeah, he had like 15 carries. I think Zeke had like 10.
Zeke had some short yardage, which he's still great at, and I think he caught like a pass or something. Like I love the way Dallas played yesterday.
Yeah, they played real well.
And Tampa sucks though. Tampa wasn't a playoff team.
Tampa's bad, and Tom Brady's fucking bad. And I know people are talking about him like they're like, oh, maybe him and Peyton go to Miami,
No,
or like
he needs to
just
hang it
go
up.
home, man. Like if you come to the AFC East. Like, you thought you struggled to make the playoffs in the NFC South. If you come to the AFC East and Mike White ends up being decent and Tua stays healthy and Josh Allen's healthy, you're going to get fucking annihilated every week. Like, what do you think's going to happen? Well, he'd be in Miami, so I guess he could beat New England.
And the Jets are gonna. The Jets aren't gonna. Their owner said or whatever. Their GM. We're a quarterback away from being an amazing team.
People are talking about Carr
They're
going
gonna
there.
Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers. They're gonna go and make a Jimmy. I mean, I know Jimmy G's not great, but he wins games. They're gonna make a play for somebody.
What happens if they get Lamar?
Yeah, like that.
They're
I would
done.
love
That's what I'm
them.
saying. Like,
I
why
love
would
the
Brady?
Jets.
Why would Brady?
Lamar
think
was the one. I'm happy you said that because there was one more star I was thinking of, and it was Lamar.
just don't. I mean, dude, just come on. Like, you think you're about to come to the AFC East and walk all over us again? It's not gonna happen, man. I mean,
Him being able to do this at 45 is great, but he's washed up. People don't want to admit it. They want to see him keep playing. And the reason I told you guys why I love Dallas is Tampa's not good. Brady's not really that good.
yeah, just go.
He made terrible throws.
If you pressure Brady, he can't do anything, which was always his weakness. But now it's like more so than ever. Then he does make a good throw. Mike Evans off the fingertips. Like those guys just aren't making
and
plays
the
for
Julio
him.
touchdown was
I
a
don't
really
know.
good throw. But
Yeah, it was a great play. He has a little bit of gas left in the tank, but he doesn't have enough to.
he's not winning a Super Bowl. If he says he wants to keep coming back to win a Super Bowl, you're just not. Like, where are you gonna go? I guess if he goes to Miami, he has a better offensive line, he has a defense, he has playmakers to give it to. He can do his old shit of dinking and dunking to Hill and Waddle, and they could go crazy.
Yeah, I can see that.
But
They got to get rid of Tua first. I don't see that happening.
And they already said
why would they?
he is their quarterback next year. So
I forgot where else they were talking about him going.
the Raiders.
Was it the Raiders?
Yeah.
Oh, because McDaniels is there.
I think if anything, that's where he goes. As each day passes by, the dominoes keep falling, and I think that's what's going to end up happening. The main domino that needed to fall was Derek Carr, in my opinion. Once that happened, I think the door's wide open.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna retire.
I do too.
We'll see, man. I just
I
don't.
don't see after this year. I don't see how you want to just keep playing.
And if he retires, I feel like Rodgers can't because he'll be his whole retirement part, his like Hall of Fame and shit will be overshadowed by Brady. Would have to stay one more year.
No, I think Rodgers needs to come back. I think Rodgers needs to.
Rodgers probably go to the Raiders.
Even if Rodgers doesn't come back to Green Bay, he still should be playing football. Like he's still really good.
Yeah.
To where like Brady's kind of shot.
Rodgers and Devontae back together,
Yeah.
their offense would be electric.
Yeah, I would definitely be a little Raider bandwagon going.
You think they probably wouldn't be able to keep Jacobs though if they gave if they got the Rodgers contract?
They'll just draft like Bijan then.
They
Call it a
can't.
night.
Bijan, some idiot's gonna draft Bijan like
I
top
did see
10.
a mock Arizona taking him 3. I just can't see that being a thing.
They said he's the best running back since Barkley. And Barkley went 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, he's 2.
Yeah.
He was 2. I mean, people have kind of smartened up since then, but I mean, Arizona hasn't.
Yeah.
If anyone was
All
gonna
the
do it,
problems
it's
Arizona has when they draft Bijan at 3, it'll make me laugh. Even though I love him, he's going to be a great player, but they have way too many holes to just be like Bijan Robinson.
They also should trade back.
I think so too, especially if you want him.
Yeah, which we'll talk about when we get to
Let's get to the Raiders.
get to the
Ravens.
offseason. But so the last game wasn't the last game, but last game for us, Ravens, Bengals. Same kind of I guess not the same script as like the Bills, Dolphins, but same kind of thing. Backup quarterback, divisional opponent, way closer than it probably would have been if it wasn't a divisional opponent. Bengals, I mean, like you said, there's 11 minutes left. Burrow could have done whatever, but tie game, they're right there. Huntley already rushed one in earlier, right?
I don't know.
Didn't he do a draw
I
in
thought
the end
Dobbins
zone?
and DeMarcus Robinson scored.
I could have swore that he did a quarterback draw. I'll look that up. But anyway,
Horrible play call.
horrible play call.
J.K. Dobbins is playing out of his mind. Did you see his post-game interview?
Yeah,
He was going in.
yeah, I like it.
He's like, we win if Lamar plays.
I
Give
like
me
it.
the ball. But yeah, it's 100% a fact. That was a stupid play. It was stupid of Huntley to jump from where he jumped from. Obviously, an amazing play by the Bengals defense. That'll go down like in their history. Like,
Yeah, but they treated it like they were on the goal line.
No, he didn't have a touchdown. He just got to the goal line.
But they treated it like he was on the goal line.
Yeah,
he was
like
a,
where
he was
Lawrence
a
was.
yeah,
He
he was
was
a
far,
yard and a
yeah.
half back.
and he made a horrible decision
That's a
thinking
lot.
he can jump in from there too.
Yeah.
But
I would
yeah.
have much rather seen them do like a wheel route.
just give the ball to
Anything.
Dobbins.
Give it to
The
Dobbins.
play before it
anything.
sucked because he had Ricard and he short-armed it.
Yeah.
It's like, but that was still a chance to give the ball to Dobbins, and then they run the QB sneak. Like, these teams outcoach, they outsmart themselves. As much credit as we've given Harbaugh and Roman over the years, it shows that Lamar deserves that credit because they suck 2 years in a row once Lamar goes down.
Well, a lot. I know. So the only Ravens fan I really know is Bryce, and he's hated Roman. And I've always asked why, because I feel like when Lamar's in there, it's like the play calling's perfect. So he's probably seeing shit that like us as non-fans aren't really
Yeah.
seeing. But like I loved Roman in Buffalo too. I thought he did great with Tyrod, but JK, like you said, you outcoach yourself. JK was averaging 5 yards a carry,
He was
had a
playing
couple
really-
big chunk
yeah.
plays, and he only gets 13 carries. None of them on the goal line at that play at that part of the game. You don't give him the ball, even though he's playing the best out of anyone on the team.
He is the best, too.
Who?
Yeah, he
JK.
is. I mean, he's the most talented
So he's
player
your best
on your
player,
offense.
and he's playing at that level.
You don't think of anything to get him the ball, and then, but like I said, Huntley did a option and got down there. Why are you doing a QB sneak from that far? You could do an option. Huntley was running well. Dobbins was running well.
You run like a little option with like Andrews cutting out like to the back of the end zone where it's like a he
You
can-
could have passed it
he
if you
can keep
wanted.
it, he can pitch it, or he can throw it like that.
Yeah.
That would be a fun play.
And the good thing about being on the goal line is the odds of you having an ineligible receiver downfield is like infinitesimal. Like the odds that an offensive lineman's going to get far enough
Yeah.
where they're like, so you have so many options there. Huntley's running well. Dobbins is running well, and you just don't even think to do either of those. I mean, I guess you could count that as a run, but it's not really. You're just
Right, it's a
jumping up.
bad play. Yeah,
And then that leads to Hubbard scoring, and that's the final score. 11 minutes left or not, the final score was because you called a bad play call, turned the ball over,
Yep.
Hubbard gets the ball, and boom, touchdown. I mean,
That's what they get though.
and that's what
they
that's
should
what.
just paid Lamar.
And yeah, the fact that they haven't paid Lamar.
I
Well,
think he
I-
would have played if he was paid.
That's what I was.
Joe had a real
Yeah,
good
fuck
point
you.
saying like he's not going to risk his if
'Cause-
he's not healthy, he's not going to risk it and never get paid now.
Yeah.
At least somebody else will pay him.
That's what I'm saying. He probably was 80-90%, but in his head, why re-aggravate my injury for a team that isn't going to pay me? I want to be able to play next year and get paid.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not playing on 80%.
Remember when people said Kobe didn't pass the ball enough? He said bet. Didn't take a shot. They fucking
Yeah.
sucked.
There you go.
They got
I see it.
annihilated.
Yeah.
He's like, that's why I don't pass the ball, you fucking bums. Give me some players. Same shit. You don't want to pay me. I play the most violent sport in the fucking world, and you expect me to run more than any quarterback in the fucking league, and I'm taking all these hits, and I've been hurt the past 2 years. I won an MVP. I've brought you to the playoffs 3 different times. You don't want to pay me? There's not a single quarterback in the league that has done what he's done and hasn't been paid. No other teams even thought about it.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
No
like
other
Kyler
teams.
got paid.
No other teams even argued with their quarterbacks.
No lie.
They
If
were
I'm
like,
Lamar,
here's the money.
I don't want to go back to Baltimore.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not. Fuck you.
I don't
Give
want to
no
go back.
receivers. They say he
Nothing.
can't throw. Don't even give him receivers to see if he can throw.
If the Jets offer me a fucking contract, I'm there tomorrow, and
Yeah.
I pray that they don't. I pray the Jets don't
Yeah,
get
Jets would be
Lamar or
really good.
Rodgers.
I'd be sad as fuck.
I pray that they don't. But if I'm Lamar, there's plenty of teams out there that need quarterbacks. Like
I would
imagine if Brock Purdy wasn't good and the fucking 49ers came knocking.
That'd be nuts.
There's plenty of teams that
Seattle could do it too if they really wanted to.
the Colts fucking tanks over there. I mean, you could chime in, man. We were gonna bring you on the show anyway.
Listen, if we trade that 4th pick, right, it's either got to go to the Bears for Fields, or if let's say Baltimore does tag Lamar or whatever, they work something out. Send that 4th pick over there. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? That's the only 2 quarterbacks that I have exceptions for that's realistic to trade that pick for. Other than that, just sit and if you like Stroud, he might fall to you. It depends on that Houston situation like I mentioned. But they got to cut Matt Ryan too or hope he retires, but
Would you trade 4 and like something else, like try to jump to 1 or 3?
it would have to be 1. You got to get
Oh, yeah, because
you
if-
got to get above Houston for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it can't be one of our pivotal players though. I'll be kind of sick if it's like Buckner or like even Pittman.
I think whatever you got to do to get a quarterback, man. Until
True.
you have
Yeah.
a quarterback, you have nothing.
Yeah,
You
but
don't-
it's
you don't
like
get rid of Pittman.
no,
Why- who
I don't
cares?
think you do. I don't think you do either.
He's because he's young.
Who cares?
He's young and good.
They don't.
cares?
They don't have
They won't
nobody
trade
else.
Pittman.
I mean, who you gonna have at one? Pierce. I don't think he's ready for the one spot. You got
You got your quarterback. It's all that matters.
Paris Campbell, who may be out the door. He's a free agent.
Jelani Woods.
I love Jelani Woods.
Swing him out.
I love Jelani.
Listen, man. Until you have a quarterback, you got nothing. If they're like, hey, I mean, maybe if you don't like the quarterbacks that much, I personally, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud both have a lot of questions. I think if
I'd
they
be
weren't
okay.
quarterbacks, they're not like number one talents. I mean, Bryce Young is, but like, look how fucking tiny he is. He's 170 pounds.
Right.
Like, if that man gets tackled by, like, look at Tua.
I'd be okay with Will Levis, even though he drinks mayonnaise in his coffee.
What?
Will
I would
Levis.
never want a
Will
quarterback
Levis
on my team
reminds
that
me
drinks
of.
mayo in his coffee. I'll tell you that shit right now.
Will Levis
I would stop
reminds me
being
of
a fan.
Bortles.
Listen, if you win games, bro, you can drink whatever the fuck
What do
you
you mean
want
he
in your
drinks
coffee.
mayo in his
Bro,
coffee?
instead of creamer, it's mayonnaise. He gets the whole.
That's
No way.
disgusting.
Mayo is fire though.
Check, there's a video. Go look.
There's no way.
Go look.
I will.
Will Levis reminds me of all these quarterbacks that people didn't want in the first round. He has like a couple good workouts, and they just throw him in the first round. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm just saying that's just what he reminds me
Say he's
of.
gonna be bad.
I don't know.
I like
don't
I like
know.
when you say people are gonna be bad and then they're not.
I don't know, man. I don't think there's a single quarterback in this draft that is like you don't have a Burrow, you don't have a Lawrence, you don't have a fucking even like a Fields, like you don't all these guys. So Justin Fields, for instance, if he was in this draft class, is a way better prospect than Young and Stroud, in my opinion. And we've seen him struggle
I don't know.
before
Those
this.
dudes are good though.
They're good, but C.J. Stroud doesn't have nearly the amount of athleticism that Fields has. I don't even think he has the same arm talent that Fields has. Young has those things, but he's fucking tiny. We've seen Tua do the same thing at Alabama that Bryce Young did. Bryce Young is probably better, but we've seen similar shit. And then he comes to the NFL, struggles, and can't stay healthy. Like being that small is a problem. If he does it, he'd be the first one to do it, and that'd be awesome. He has the arm talent. He throws the ball with, like, what's the word? With anticipation. Like a lot of things with Stroud. Stroud needs the guys to be open. Young throws guys open. Young does everything that you want him to do. He's just tiny. If Young was 200 pounds, I'd be like, for sure, draft him number one. Right.
I gotta cut you off.
Go ahead.
Let's save this for the
You're
offseason.
you're right, yeah.
Only because I'm a little pressed on time today. I want to get to the divisional round matchups.
Okay, cool.
But I do agree with what you were saying.
So, yeah, anyway.
I would take Fields over those guys if he was in this class.
Just to end it, Lamar, just back to the game. I'd leave Baltimore. Simple as it.
I don't
I'd be
think he
gone.
should stay.
I'd be gone. I don't
Yeah, I
see why
agree.
you would want to stay. There's really nothing.
Unless they
around
throw the bag at him now, because now
No,
their
fuck you.
season has ended twice because of it. But
Fuck you. Anyone's gonna throw him the bag. Why are
maybe
you gonna
not,
stay
though.
with the guys who waited until he could have had a career-ending injury?
Right?
Like anything could have happened.
No, for sure. That's why these running backs and shit hold out. They want their money before they get hurt.
All right. So they released the schedule. Was it yesterday when they released the schedule?
Yeah. Or last Sunday
So
night.
2 Saturday games and 2
Sunday,
Sunday
yep.
games. Okay, no Monday night game. So Jaguars Chiefs is first.
Which, yeah, I figured that would be because they probably expect it to be. Even though I think Jacksonville can really possibly pull off an upset or keep it close, but I figured that would be the first game. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, 31-21 or 34-24.
I think Jaguars can hold their own against the offense. I just don't think they could keep up with the level of scoring Mahomes is going to have. So I agree, probably around the same scoring.
I
It's
think
gonna be
the
cold,
Chiefs
too.
are gonna win by like 3.
Close game.
Yeah.
I could see it. I just don't think.
I just think that it's tough when like teams like Jacksonville and they get into like this part. They're a wild card.
Yeah,
Could-
they're playing
they're-
like with house money. They've already
Yeah.
overexceeded what they thought they do this year. Anything else is a bonus.
And you saw what Peterson did last time he was in
And
this
then
position.
the Bengals did it last year as like it was like,
Yeah.
okay, Burrow made the playoffs and won a game. Now, next thing you know, they're in the Super Bowl. But for me, personally, I could see it being a 3-point game, but only if the Jags score late down 10 and like go for the outside kick. Kansas City recovers it, nails it out type shit. I
Yeah.
can't see Mahomes
Damn, I was
needing
thinking.
magic.
I swear to God, I was thinking more like it was tied. They come down Buckner.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if Mahomes is in that position. But it's very possible the Jags are playing really well, like you said.
And their defense is playing really like.
I
Pretty
can
good.
see Peterson getting really in his bag for this game because it's like a lot of those plays are risky, and he's like, if we lose, it doesn't matter. No one expected it. So
Yeah.
he does those fucking crazy Philly special calls and shit. If he does something like that and it works, it's going to be very close. If he does shit like that and it doesn't work, it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, it could be. I was gonna say it could be 41.
It could be a blowout. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because if he threw 4 interceptions the first half against the Chiefs, 27-0, and then they come out and they don't. You get what I'm saying?
I just think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chiefs blow them out.
And then Saturday night game, Giants-Eagles. This has to be the end.
Giants by 7.
You're bugging.
All right.
I mean, I hope so because then Timmy owes me $100. But this has to be the end. All the
I
magic
could see the
Daboll's had.
Giants. Like me and him were going back and forth last night, like in what you were saying with the division. If the Giants could keep the game very low scoring and ugly, and like Daniel Jones, he put together a 20-play drive versus Minnesota.
Wild.
Look at how Washington beat Philly on that Monday night game. To me, that's the only chance the Giants have. If it's anything high scoring or anything where Hurts is doing his thing, the Eagles will win and probably by a lot. But if the Giants can run the ball and 10, 15-play drives, I mean, you never know.
Are they? Is the Philly defense front? They're healthy now, right? Like
Yeah.
Jordan Davis is playing.
Their
When Jordan
quarterbacks are
Davis is
back.
in, they've been very good against the run, which is obviously the fucking strength of the Giants.
I don't know if Jones will be able to run on them with all their athletic defensive linemen getting in
Hassan
the
Reddick,
backfield.
which is like a
it's just
linebacker.
like I said, we'll see. But I mean, you got like Slay and Bradbury on Hodgins. Like he's been playing well, but can he do that versus those guys? I mean, if he can, great. But I don't think so.
I think it's
I
gonna
think
be
it's a bad
17
matchup
point
for the
game,
Giants.
Yeah. Because it's a division point game, I'll say 10. Or a
You say
division
by 10?
point, I'd say 10. But
I think it's gonna be a lot
realistically, it could be
closer than people
17.
think.
It could be because of the
Or
divisional
it could be
component.
blowout. I think it's going to be the same thing as the Chiefs-Jags game.
I feel like the Jags can't win though. Like they can, but they can't. Like the Giants really. I'd be surprised if Kansas City lost. I think. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles did just because of the
would.
pressure on Hurts. He's 0-1 in the playoffs. Mahomes, his shit's nothing to him. He's going out there like
That's
it's
fair.
But I believe the Eagles will win.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will win by 10.
I definitely could see a 31-21 type game there too.
Or
So Bengals Bills
30-20.
I think is going to be the better game, but as soon as it was Cowboys 49ers matchup, the NFL nutted it in their pants and they were like, that's going to be the primetime game of the week. Fucking probably two of the biggest fan bases in football.
Yeah, it's a
two of the most
classic.
successful franchises in football. They've already had, I mean, I know it's been probably 30 years now, but they've had classic games in the playoffs.
It's all about time slot too, though. Like CBS, like me and Steve were
It's
talking
also in
about,
San Fran, too.
wouldn't give up that. Well, wasn't giving up Cincy Buffalo, so they have to take the 3 o'clock time
Yeah.
slot. But yeah, I mean I think Cincy Buffalo should be the best game. We've all been waiting for it. It was off to a fun start on the Monday night.
Josh
So-
Allen was looking great. I mean, they didn't get a touchdown, whatever, but that's gonna be the best game, I think. I mean, they're both gonna be great fucking games.
What do you think the score will be?
The defenses couldn't stop them. I mean, they both have good defenses, but it wasn't really working. It's gonna be high scoring. I could see like 35-31. I mean, even when the Bills turned the ball over like they did, they just dropped 34 on Miami. I think the Bills are so good offensively that when Josh Allen makes mistakes, we still find way. Like we either score or throw interception. It's like that every single game. Even like the Vikings throw 2 interceptions in the red zone, still scored 31 points.
Yeah.
They're gonna score 30 points. It just depends if they can hold the Bengals to under that.
I think as long as you guys don't turn the ball over more than 2 times, I would say I like Buffalo to win another like 34-31, 31-28 type game. Since he could definitely win, they're a great team, but I think as long as you guys take care of the ball, you'll win.
yeah, I do too.
The fans definitely got to bring it because I was at that Cincy game. Probably top 3 loudest crowds I've ever
Wait, what
heard
Cincy
in my
game were you
life.
at?
The Bills and Bengals, the Monday night game.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So the fans got to bring this shit.
Yeah, and I think
Bills
they will.
fans? Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But did you see, even on TV, you could tell that the Ralph was fucking ridiculous against
I said
Miami.
the Ralph.
It's the Ralph,
I
dude.
like how you said that, though.
It will always be the Ralph. Hey,
I was there too, but it was nothing
for the
like,
Miami game?
Yeah.
This past week?
Yeah, I'll be
Nice.
there this weekend too. I'm
You're
with
a lucky
I'm with the
fucker.
team, man.
He's a lucky fucker. Them tickets are like $400.
Yeah.
His fake girlfriend works for fucking the Bills.
She's real.
She's real. I'm just
She got a
kidding.
ring on the finger. She's real.
That's lit.
Shit, I would have married her
Alan's trying to
super
get a
quick.
ring
You're
on
getting me
his finger now,
playoff tickets? Fuck.
I said Alan's trying to get a ring on his finger now.
I was trying to buy I was trying to buy tickets because I was like, I'm not gonna. I thought the Dolphins were gonna be a blowout, and I went to buy tickets for the Bengals, and it was like fucking $400.
Yeah,
I was like,
Steve
nah,
got some for like 350 on the 300 level.
I'm good.
What do you think
Watch that shit
the
on
score will
TV.
be?
I think it's gonna be close. I don't know. It's gonna be high scoring. I don't know though.
Buffalo going to win?
Yes.
And this, I mean, we never had the argument. I know we don't really have a ton of time to do it. Josh Allen does not have the supporting cast that Joe Burrow does.
No.
So the fact that
Whoever argued that.
I was.
well,
in the
there's
beginning
people
of
on
the
TV
year-
are starting to argue like Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen, and
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a good argument, but if they can't argue the cast.
But I remember in the beginning of the year, people were saying how the Bills were loaded, and really were not.
Well, you know why? It's because Gabe Davis had that playoff game.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
thought Gabe Davis
Was
could
it
do what
loaded?
TJ
and he
did.
did it. He did it against Miami.
It's playoff game.
Maybe he's just playoff
Yeah.
Gabe. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah, but I'm saying like these other teams, like the Bengals have.
the Bengals are the most
Yeah.
loaded.
They
team
got
in
they
the
got
NFL.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and then Tyler Boyd.
Right.
You know what I mean?
and then
Or,
Joe
like,
Mixon,
yeah.
and then an offensive line
And
that
Hayden Hurst is
gone.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So
What's going to hurt the Bengals is their offensive line. The guys that they signed in the offseason
Are all out now.
for this time of year, they're all
Yeah.
out.
They're out?
Yeah.
They just
Yeah,
well, Jonah
so that's
Williams, who
huge.
they drafted, is dislocated his knee last week, and then Lyle Collins, he got hurt against the Patriots weeks
Yeah.
ago. So they made the
I thought
right
he was
moves in.
questionable for this week.
Who?
That
Lyle
was too.
Collins. He's out for the
he
season.
tore
Oh
his
no, he
ACL.
tore his ACL. No,
Yeah.
who's one of their guards?
Jonah Williams is week to week with a dislocated knee somehow. He can't play.
Alex Kappa, who they got from
Yeah.
Tampa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's really
Our guys are out too.
our offensive line just.
I was talking about like we got Von Miller for this time, and he's gone.
I know, dude,
Yeah.
and that's when I was watching the Miami game, I was like, what are we missing? Von fucking Miller. I mean, like we were not pressuring that dude at all. I think we still had 4 sacks,
I feel
but they
like-
were all coverage sacks.
I feel like Rousseau was like non-existent.
They
too.
double him because there's no
Yeah.
on the other side. No one's worried. Lawson and Epinesa are great
Yeah,
run
but
ends.
what about Phillips?
But he's an interior guy. I mean,
Yeah.
like you can. They're putting the tight end on Rousseau's side the entire time,
Boogie.
and not to mention, Miami does have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
So we'll see this week with the banged up offensive line. Rousseau is still a great player, but it's like when Von Miller was out there, he was the X factor. It's like Von Miller's might not get to him every time, but you're putting one guy on Rousseau. That's what we were missing in Miami. Like all of our sacks were coverage sacks. We were giving that dude so much time to throw the ball. And we'll see what happens. I mean, KC's got a good offensive line. We'll see if we get past the Bengals, it's going to be an issue again. It was
Let's
an
worry
issue.
about the Bengals
It was
first.
an issue last year when we played them with the whole 13 seconds thing. That was the biggest issue was we couldn't pressure Mahomes. That's what we're missing, and it fucking sucks.
Is Miller out for the season?
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah,
He's
he
not
had to
coming
get the
back.
surgery.
Micah might be back. He's not playing this week. Who else is on the IR that they thought wasn't going to play? Neither of them are playing this week though. Fucking-
It doesn't.
It sucks.
Yeah,
It sucks that
the-
we recognized as a team. We talk about all the times. Like the Chargers didn't go out and get offensive playmakers. We talk about these teams who are a step away. They don't do what they have to do. The Bills did exactly what they had to do in this offseason, and then we fucking lose Miller. Most important
Should
player.
have just sat him all season. All right. I'm
Whatever.
just kidding.
He'll come around for playoffs.
We'll have him next year. Hopefully he comes back. He's 35 though. Coming back from ACL is gonna be tough.
This was just like it sucks. That's the
Yeah.
we needed him this year.
So Cowboys 49ers, man. Classic matchup.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm still gonna. I mean, I'm going San Fran. They're just too good.
Yeah.
But like I said, I do want to see when Micah Parsons is on Purdy's ass and Lawrence is on his ass, how he responds to that, or if Dallas takes a lead.
And it makes me look really dumb because this is a matchup of a fourth round quarterback versus a 7th round
Yeah,
quarterback.
it is awesome.
And I'm starting to think maybe like there's so many quarterbacks now that we're gonna get away from that because you see historical trends change all the time. I said it 100 times. Brock Purdy is a 1 and literally 500 type like to come out and play this well if he's able to maintain it. No one's done it. We've never seen a quarterback do it.
I was
Ever.
watching a hype video of Brock Purdy
Ever.
earlier today though.
We've never fucking seen it. And even if,
he's locked in.
and then even when you go to Dak, I mean, we've probably seen it 3 or 4 times in our lifetime. Quarterbacks after the 4th round do like be good.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, but Tom Brady's Tom Brady. I mean,
Yeah.
Tom Brady is like it's like Michael Jordan, LeBron. Like they're in their own conversation. And it was a different time. You could be a pocket passer back then.
Purdy moves.
And Brady was 6th round. Purdy's the first 7th round quarterback.
Yeah, he's legit Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
The
So I
very
think
last pick of the.
so maybe there's just so much quarterback talent they just can't stay up on top of it anymore. But either way, I hope Purdy plays good because I want to see a really good game. And I have to root against the Cowboys. I hate their fans so fucking much. So what do you think? I
think San Fran's going to win. I think their defense is amazing. Their offense is great. Shanahan's great. So Purdy doesn't have to play great to win. He just has to be I think he has to be smart, make pick up some third downs.
You're really just playing how he's been playing.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't think he's going to have 4 touchdowns or 300 and something yards.
Right.
As long as he just has to take care of the ball. And
I think
McCaffrey's been unstoppable.
Yeah, it's not like Dallas has a great run defense either. So.
And I mean the step up from Tampa to Dallas's defense. I mean you talked about Dak having the best game of his career. That step
from
up.
Tampa to San Fran. Yeah, no, absolutely.
What did I say?
Tampa to Dallas. Yeah.
No, my bad. Tampa to San Fran.
But it is a revenge game for Dallas. Like I'm sure it's on their mind that their season was ended last year in Dallas by San Fran. It would feel good for them to return the favor.
That's true.
I think it's gonna be. I think these 2 games are both gonna be great games. One possession, nail biters to the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna say San Fran by 3-6.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's gonna be
maybe
lower
10
scoring.
or to 14 if they score late or something like a pick 6.
What's the over under right now?
I want to say 46.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I would take the under.
I think it was 50 or something yesterday.
51 maybe.
Or I might be thinking. I'm thinking of the Bills and Bengals. That's what I'm thinking.
San
of.
Fran Dallas. I'm almost 100%.
It can't be. Yeah.
Their defenses are both
It's
really
46.
good.
I want to say.
Which is the same.
I know
as
one of them was 50 something, 51 or some shit.
Probably the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs are 52.5, minus 8.5. Giants, Eagles over under 48.5. Eagles are getting 7.5. Well, losing 7.5.
46.5, like you said.
Bills are losing 4.5.
My shit says 5.
On FanDuel?
Nah.
Okay. Over under 48.5. Cowboys, 49ers 46.5. 49ers are losing 3.5.
Oh, it went down.
What was it before?
The early money must be on Dallas. It was 4.5 or something.
The
spreads are going to change all week. There's serious money being poured into
Yeah.
these games. So
I would take the under.
Of Dallas and Fran.
Dallas and Fran. I'm not going to bet anything.
I don't think I
nothing.
can.
It's
Nothing
tough,
I bet
man.
can
It
win.
really can go. That's a game I wouldn't touch. That can go either way.
Yeah, I think
could
in
see
the
it being 20-17 or 38-35.
Dude, I don't think I can take an under on a total in a game of the playoffs.
I think I could do Eagles Giants if I was going to do one. That would be the only one because both teams run the ball and could sustain long drives. But I still wouldn't want to.
Right. I just won't.
Yeah, all these numbers have been changed since we did our show yesterday.
Yeah, they're going to change all week.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't lock nothing in unless you love something. Like if you love the Bengals, you see them at 5, sure, take it. But
even if you like the Niners, 3.5, that's probably the lowest you could get them all year.
yeah, try to buy it down to 3.
I don't know. Nothing I bet can ever win.
I'm just going to assume it's going to be chalk, and it's going to be what we all wanted was Buffalo, KC, San Fran, Dallas. Cincy, KC, I know not for you guys, but for other fans is good enough consolation. I don't want to see anything other than those 3 games. KC, Buffalo, KC, Cincy, Dallas, or San Fran, Eagles. I don't want nothing else.
I'll probably
you don't
listen.
want Eagles, Dallas?
No, not at all.
If the Bills aren't in it, I'll probably listen
I
in
like
a
both
dark
teams,
room.
but I'm good on a division.
So it's probably
rival.
going to be Jags, Bengals, Giants,
Dallas.
That would be
Dallas would be
crazy.
the absolute worst. Nothing could be worse than Giants, Dallas.
Can you imagine a world where San Fran, Philly, Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati don't win the Super Bowl? It's like somehow the Jags make the Super Bowl
Trevor
and they play the
Lawrence.
fucking.
I guess I could see Dallas winning the Super Bowl if Dak plays at a high level.
They do have a really
have
good
the
team.
team
Oh
for
my
it.
God!
Their
nothing
team
would
is
be
really
worse.
good.
I know, but nothing would be worse. Nothing would be worse. I think Philly and San Fran are an easy step above Dallas.
I
Dallas
100% agree.
Dallas is a good team, but they're just San Fran is like
The thing with Dallas is you have CeeDee Lamb, and these teams have A.J. Brown and Debo, but then it's they have Kittle, Ayuk, Devonta Smith, Goddard,
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey, Mitchell. I guess Miles Sanders and Pollard, whatever. But yeah, the Eagles and San Fran are just loaded.
The only defense that I could see that'd be able to somewhat stop the Niners would be Dallas. But other than that,
yeah, the only reason I said Philly was because they led the NFL in sacks if they could consistently get to
Yeah.
Purdy, but it's tough against San Fran's
Right.
O-line and the way they can call quick plays to Debo and McCaffrey.
And
Philly's
the
defense
way
is
Kittle
unlike
steps
Purdy.
up as a blocker too, man.
Purdy hasn't seen anything like Philly's defense. So if he was to look like a 7th round pick, it would be against Philly. I mean, you got to worry about Slade jumping routes,
Bradbury,
so many playmakers on that team.
That
CJ
Gardner
or
kid,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. So if the Phillies.
Then their defensive front is crazy.
Yeah, we'll talk about it if it comes down to it, but I think Philly's the team
I love the way the
could
playoffs has
be-
went so far.
Yeah.
All the best teams are remaining. I mean, you could say the Chargers, whatever.
But are they though? We
Yeah.
don't, you know what I mean? Like,
no, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Like the Vikings, I'm fine with them being out. This has been a perfect playoff so far.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've done playoff challenges and have all 8 of my players left. Usually there's always some shitty upset.
All right, so we got to get out of here. Anything quick before we head out?
Good luck to you guys, man. That's gonna be
I'm
fun.
stressing the fuck
Thanks,
out,
man.
man.
I
Because
feel nervous for you guys. But I like the Bengals too, so obviously if you guys lost, I'd be like, oh, that sucks. But Joey B, light up a cigar real quick.
I will literally
I'd probably
sit
cheer
in a
for them
dark
if,
room for the next 3-4 days. I'll listen on the radio or something. I can't watch it. Like it, I
I'll watch
can't.
it for you,
my
man.
mental health cannot deal with the Bills losing. I can't.
Good luck though, man. It's gonna be fun.
I almost had
Were you watching the
manners.
game with your dad?
Yeah, I was screaming at the top of my
Yeah, I would have
lungs.
been sick too.
When they called that delay a game after the play was called on 4th down when we needed that stop,
Yeah,
I went fucking nuts. But anyway, we're out of here. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, we get some good games. It looks like we got 3 or 4 classics coming, so hopefully that's what happens. Thank you, Tank, for filling in with
Yes, sir.
for
Thank you, Tank.
Maranto.
Hey, you got it, fellas. It's
Stone
always a
Cold
pleasure.
Tank Austin.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, Trenton Sports everywhere. Joe's making some cool TikToks. It's getting me into good lighting.
talk, tick tickety talk.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Go Bills.